Good morning, beautiful people. It's always morning in the senpai world. Today, we're going to be talking about the honorable mentions of 2025. This is in no particular order, but I wanted to give a shout out to all the shows that wouldn't make my top 10 of the year. And of course, I'm going to forget some because that's just the way the world is. But I wanted to start off with possibly the greatest Alchemist of all time. I found this show to be really fun. It's one of those kind of seasonal isekais where the guy comes back to life in a new world, and instead of him being a warrior, he's an alchemist, which is not something you get often, and I like the way that they went about his story. He's clearly OP, and he isn't really a fighter, and he recruits people who end up doing the fighting for him. So I really enjoyed Takumi in possibly the greatest alchemist of all time and highly suggest it. I really enjoyed Once Upon a Witch's Death. The concept of a person who finds out that they have 1 year to live unless they collect tears of joy. It was a interesting, let's just say I've never seen a plot like this. And the main character, Meg Raspberry, is very funny. It makes a very sad situation very lighthearted, and I highly recommend for people who are looking for a laugh with some magic in tow. The Brilliant Healer's New Life in the Shadows. I really enjoyed this anime. A renaissance of anime where instead of people are super OP and just kicking ass, they're healers. The Brilliant Healer's New Life in the Shadows follows, of course, a character named Zenos who is kicked from his party, and he decides he's going to heal people, but for a price. And he opens a clinic in the essentially downtrodden area of a city, and he essentially gets all the gangs to put their differences aside and makes the government think that he's some mastermind, putting everyone together. It's a really fun anime, and I highly suggest it for people who like just something a little bit different from the power fantasy and a little bit more fun and not too serious. I'm the evil lord of an intergalactic empire. This is an isekai where the guy is transported to a world where there is mechs and magic. It checks every box for otaku's dream. I love isekais, I love mechs, so when I found out it was an isekai where he got to command his own mech, I lost my shit. The thing I love the most about this show, the main character has a sort of luck box, and I'm blanking on his name, I apologize, but it starts off very bad for him. The story for this is messed up because it starts off with him being alive in this world and he's being cheated on. His wife is cheating on him with his boss, and they have a child. He's raising someone else's child. It's the boss's child. And long story short, he's working his ass to death to support this child that's not even his, and he passes away and goes to this, he's reborn in this new world where he becomes a prince of a pretty much poor country, and he takes that country out of being impoverished and makes it a galactic superpower by mistake. He wants to be an evil lord, but he luck boxes himself into being this benevolent leader who is respected across the universe. I love this show, and I love when we have luck box characters. It's an amazing show. Highly suggested. It is ecchi. There's lots of fan service. If you don't like fan service, just forget everything I said for the last minute or so. Okay, moving on. Teogonia is a really good show. I really enjoyed Teogonia. The biggest issue I had with this show is that it's a power fantasy that I think is an isekai because the main character continues to have these flashbacks and thoughts about modern day technology and medicine. He understands cells and division of cells and all those things in a world that does not exist. It's definitely a fantasy world, and even in the end, it's almost like he flashes back to a different life from his past. So really like this show, but there was so much that I had questions about. I couldn't put it in my top 10. So definitely watched Teogonia. Forgive me for my pronunciation. Okay, Uglymug Epicfighter. This was one of those fun isekai animes that just did things differently. Essentially, all the characters in this went through this kind of ritual of sorts where they are transported to a new world, but before that, they were able to change their stats and even add a specific like they could add something to their status box that would maximize different things. And for instance, the main character, Shiguro, I believe is his name, he chooses to be ugly, and he says that he's going to be the ugliest character, and that's why he becomes like a god, because he nerfs his looks so that he could max out all the other stats. And you find other characters throughout the show that have other very specific niches that allow them to do extraordinary things for a hell of a price, is the best way for me to put it. One girl dedicates herself to just killing beautiful people because she was wronged all her life by beautiful people. So there's a lot of themes that go into this show, and I highly recommend it for people who like OP characters, but then they are still dealing with themes throughout the show. New Saga is a banger. I really liked New Saga. It was a different type of power fantasy. If there weren't so many great 2025 shows, New Saga would have cracked the top 10 for me. I like how it was kind of a revisionist show. Essentially, we see the end and then he goes back in time to fix things and make the new ending better. So we kind of know how things should go, but there are little changes because Kyle, the main character, is making these changes. So by the time the show ends, he's already deviated a long way from the path that the end or the beginning of the show started with. I really enjoyed Kyle and all the characters in this show, especially, I'm blanking on his friend's name, but Kyle isn't even the strongest warrior. His best friend is, and the best friend just has this. I love characters who are strong and act like they are not. And when it's time to get busy, they kind of take off all their limiters and go all out. And that's what Kyle's friend is. You guys are like, how are you a senpai if you can't even remember people's name? Nonetheless, New Saga is amazing. It's a very cool take on power fantasies where you essentially get the ending and then go all the way back and see how different choices can make differences. All right, Night of the Living Cat. This is one of the funnier shows I watched in 2025. It is the perfect marriage of like zany humor mixed with just really fun, quirky animation and comedic bits. The main character has like amnesia and doesn't know why. He can't remember his past. He just knows he loves cats. And essentially, we're in a world where there is a pandemic where if you touch a cat, you become a cat. And everybody loves cats. So it's such a hard thing for people to not touch cats and try to avoid them. Everybody wants to cuddle with them. So it's like this weird thing where everybody's just like, we love cats, but we can't touch them. It's funny as hell. It's crazy. The amount of crazy situations and things I've seen, like they have cats piloting other animals and like creating chimera style beings. They're almost like monsters, and it's never too serious. The worst that happens is you turn into a cat. Really love this show. Not enough people are talking about Night of the Living Cat. Not enough. More people need to talk about it. Bogus Skill Fruit Master. We're not learning how to slice bread in a different way. I just enjoyed the show. It's slop. It's seasonal slop. But long story short, you have to eat this thing called a skill fruit so that you can get a skill, and you can only eat one skill fruit. And our friend here got the Fruit Master skill, which seems like the stupidest skill ever. It just lets him grow fruits quickly. But we find out very fast that that skill allows him to eat multiple skill fruits. So that shitty power becomes the strongest power in the show because he can now eat as many skill fruits as he wants and have essentially every skill possible. There is no rhyme or reason to what's going on in the story. His best friend is literally like the sword saint or something like that. So like they never really have any issues. There are no stakes. It's just fun. I like the show a lot. Highly recommend if you are looking for just a fun show to watch and not think. Turn off your brain and watch Bogus Skill Fruit Master. You heard it here first. Apocalypse Bringer Minogra. And this was on my top 10, but I had to change things just because of Chainsaw Man. There's so much good anime that I already know I'm going to hate this video after I put it out, because I'll remember 5 anime that I should have mentioned. Like I'm already like, there's like 2 that I know of that this has already gone too long, and you guys probably are like, shut up, dude, just get to the point. Nonetheless, Apocalypse Bringer Minogra was a very cool take on an isekai, where essentially he's reborn in this world where essentially he's reborn in the game he was last playing, but it's not exactly the game. It's a new world, and we find out very quickly that it's not just one game, it's multiple different types of games and gaming functions. He was playing a tactical game, but then we find out there's an RPG game involved. Then there's like a dice game involved, and he has to fight all these characters from different games. He does have you could say his cheat is that because they are a tactical or RTS, real-time strategy game, they can hit larger. Like, they explain it in a way of like he can hit more larger groups as opposed to RPGs who have to be more finite, but they go deep into the different gaming, the different systems, and they go deep into how each game is played and how there are positives and negatives depending on if you're an RPG, RTS, and so on and so forth. And I liked how they worked the game mechanics into the isekai. And the biggest thing about Minogra is that it gets dark, and I love how they play with the concept of what evil is and what is perceived as evil, because technically they are an evil society. They lean towards evil, but that doesn't mean that they are bad. And they do a good job of explaining that in the show. I cannot suggest Apocalypse Bringer Minogra enough. It doesn't have crazy animation, but the story is exceptional, and I really, really loved it. The final one, the last one of the honorable mentions of 2025, A Gatherer's Adventure in Isekai. It has been an amazing show. It comes across as like seasonal slop, but there's so much good to it. I love B. He's my favorite familiar next to like Sui, and there's another one I'm forgetting. Somebody's gonna be very upset at me, but B is one of the cutest dragons. I love Tekoru. I love the fact that like he's very cognizant of the world he's in, and he can just make up spells as he goes along. His supporting cast like Clayston and Brolight are all funny, and I just really enjoy watching A Gatherer's Adventure in Isekai every week. It is one of those fun shows to watch. Highly recommend if you're just looking to watch a show that just makes you feel happy. So yeah, these are my suggestions, my honorable mentions of 2025. If you're looking for a show that you just want to put on and enjoy, and you're not doing too much deep thinking, except Minogra, there is some thinking involved. But most of these shows are just fun watches that didn't make my top 10. I hope this helps. I hope that you got to enjoy some anime in 2025. And you tell me, what are some honorable mentions you thought should have been on this list? Leave it in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. Follow. All that fun jazz. I'll be trying to do some more longer form videos going forward and some more lives. So you know where to find me. Senpai Silva on all platforms. I love you. The Senpai loves you tons. Wait, is that a heart? I'm trying to do a heart. I can't really see. Anyways, the Senpai loves you. I'll talk to you soon. Have a blessed day and Happy New Year!